But Roe v. Wade itself is wrong. It's wrong because it pretends to be constitutional law, but it's not. Even the law clerk for the Supreme Court Justice, Harry Blackmun, who wrote the majority opinion in Roe v. Wade, his law clerk, Edward Lazarus, who is pro-abortion himself, said the following, quote, "As a matter of constitutional interpretation and judicial method, Roe borders on indefensible. Justice Blackmun's opinion provides essentially no reasoning in support of its holding, and in the years since Roe's announcement, no one has produced a convincing defense of Roe on its own terms." Every time I read that, and I read that just about every year around the anniversary of Roe v. Wade in January, every time I read that, I'm just struck that even the law clerk of the Supreme Court Justice who wrote the majority ruling in Roe v. Wade knows that it's a farce, knows that there is no constitutional right to abortion. And there's a Yale law professor named John Hart Eli who, like Lazarus, supports legalized abortion, but legislatively. Eli says, quote, "What's frightening about Roe is that this super protected right is not inferable from the language of the Constitution, the framers' thinking respecting the specific problem in issue, any general value derivable from the provisions they included, or the nation's governmental structure. It's bad because it's bad constitutional law, or rather because it's not constitutional law and gives almost no sense of obligation to try to be." In other words, Roe v. Wade is the worst piece of constitutional law in history that has ever come from the Supreme Court. There is no right to abortion in this so-called right to privacy in the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment, by the way, says, "Nor shall the state deprive any person of the right to life, liberty, or property without due process of law." So please, legally, tell me, where is the right for a woman to kill her unborn child or an abortionist to kill a child in a woman's womb? Where is that in the 14th Amendment? It obviously doesn't exist. We shouldn't even, that's why you'll notice that the pro-abortion left doesn't even have this argument anymore. They don't even engage in debate. They don't even pretend that abortion is constitutional anymore. They just want it to be legal up until the moment of birth anyway. They won't engage in any kind of constructive discussion about this because they know they're wrong. They know that it's not constitutional.